Bella's been in sports most of her life, and she remembers kind of being on a band and she was running backwards, and she remembers her knee popping. And I think it all kind of went downhill from there. She was complaining a lot about her knee hurting. She just couldn't get any relief from it. It was like a constant, like, my knee hurts, like over and over again. That day she had practice, so we went to practice, and I want to say in the matter of an hour, she couldn't walk anymore. By the time we left practice, she just couldn't stand the pain. She was in so much pain. When we got home, she couldn't even put her toes down. I think I even sent you a picture where her leg looked like a grapefruit on the top. It was all black from the back. We couldn't make anything of it. We didn't know what happened. So she laid in bed. She didn't go to school for the next couple of days. My husband called the doctor, really upset. So finally, her pediatrician told my husband that we need to take her to the Mayo Clinic, because the Mayo Clinic was probably if anybody is gonna see it, they're gonna see it. Her health was declining. She was losing more weight. She wasn't making it through school. Her depression was terrible. It was really bad. Her knee had completely turned in. Her foot was completely contracted.
Going into Minnesota, I was terrified to find out that a doctor was going to tell me that I wasn't going to be able to walk anymore. I lost complete hope in everything. I wasn't happy. I didn't smile. I couldn't walk. I was in a wheelchair in Minnesota the whole time. I couldn't do anything. The way the doctors would look at me and tell me they didn't know what was wrong, that was really hard, to know that no one could figure anything out anymore. I thought I was done. Thought that was it.
So they set you up with appointments in one day. The first appointment was with the rheumatologist. The second one was going to be with the orthopedic surgeon in sports medicine. He went through all of her ligaments. He did a really good job at explaining to us that Bella had, from an orthopedic standpoint, a structurally sound leg. He did. He went through one ligament at a time and showed us that nothing was broken, nothing was torn. He explained to Bella that there is nothing that ties your toe, your foot to your knee. Like, he's seen terrible, terrible knee injuries, and he said that the pain she feels in her knee would not go to her foot. So that's when he told us that what he thought she had was CRPS. So I started to do some research into what CRPS is, and the things that you find out are terrible. There are people who've lived with it for 15 plus years, who are in wheelchairs, who can't move, who have had amputations. We found out that there's no cure. So you really have no idea how blindsided you feel until you start realizing that it's spreading all over her body and you can't stop it.
Sarah had called me before they came in and was telling me, she asked me the question, some things are going on in her arms, her hands are starting to curl, could this be the CRPS? Can it spread? And I said, yes, it can. I've seen it spread. She says, it's just been like a week. The unfortunate thing with pain is, you go to a doctor and you get medications because they're trying to do what they know, what they've been trained to do. They've been trained to mitigate the problem. Let's try to figure this out. And so they're trying to mitigate the symptom, which is pain, right? And so they'll give them a medication, and then over time, the medication gets less and less effective.
What's the word I'm looking for? Logically piece it together, like, well, what could it be? Maybe she's still growing. She's still really young. It's like, no, it's not that kind of pain. Something's going on. She was just in debilitating pain. She, any movement, literally any movement, would cause excruciating pain. Getting her from the couch to the restroom was a feat in itself, and it ate at us. It broke our hearts to know that she's in this amount of pain and we can't do anything.
I was really against her taking pain medication. Because she was on naproxen and it was really doing some damage to her stomach. And then they wanted her to try tramadol, and she was getting sick. Like, she was getting dizzy. She didn't like the way she felt taking it. So I knew something had to be going on where she's taking really strong narcotics and it wasn't helping. I didn't want to introduce anti-inflammatories because I know that they cause stomach problems, like if you do too much of it. So I just didn't want her to be reliant on it. And my husband was like, well, if it'll give her some relief, we should. And my whole thing was that we had already seen what morphine did. And what morphine did was it made her feel really, really good for about 24 hours. And it got so much worse after that. So my whole problem was, what are we masking? Like, what is it? Why is it that, it doesn't go away? Like, what?
So then I began to ask Sarah on the phone when we went through interview, are there other parts of her body that are hypermobile? Can she bend her thumbs back? Is her elbow more like double jointed? And she's like, yes, yes, yes. The people that have instability in their joints are at risk for injury. They're also at risk for not healing well. And I've had quite a few people that I've seen, children and adults alike, that have CRPS. That's why they come to see us. But the underlying condition is actually a connective tissue disorder. We have a solution with the InterX. It's a solution, right? And so she's here for 10 visits. She came in for the 9 the first time, and then they took a home device home, and I taught them how to use that.
You're crazy. You're crazy. It's not gonna happen. So when she introduced that to me, I said, no, there's no way. There's no way. We're not gonna spend money on that. Well, it only costs. I said, well, maybe we'll give it a shot then. It's not that far. What do we have to lose? I was working at the time, and I thought, hey, whatever Sarah feels is best in her gut, I trust completely.
But she also started having the pains in her arms. She has chronic headaches, and she has chronic stomach pain. So I look at all those things. Every session, I look. What's your right knee doing? What's your left knee doing? What's your head doing? What's your right arm you doing? What's your left arm doing? What's your stomach doing? And she tells me, and those numbers are coming down. They'll continue to come down. Again, they'll come down in the order that it happened. So her arms are getting better. When she first came in, I could not put anything on her arms. Like Sarah said, I could only treat like her spine, I could treat her face, I could do some other things, but I couldn't get on her legs. We've got to change the reaction. We have to change her sleep. We have to change her gut. And as we start to change that, she'll just take off. She's already taken off. It's great to see the fact that she came in with crutches, 2 crutches, and she did. Her hands were not able to hold the crutches well, like she said, and now has no crutches. She came in after the first round of treatments, with no crutches. But she started to use a single crutch during the first set of treatments, and her hands started to uncurl. And Sarah came in, she goes, Janice, her hands are, not curling like they were. And I said, that makes sense to me, because it's the newest symptom. She'll come in for a second round, and then she'll go away again on a break. And during the break is when the person really changes. That's the game plan. In my head, I'm looking for changes. I'm very happy with Bella's progress.
Janice kept saying that when you go home this time, she's going to take off. I didn't really know what that meant, but I just knew. She said that her brace was going to come off, and that's what I was praying for. Every night, I just was praying that brace was going to burn somewhere.
And then one day, I woke up, put my brace on like usual, got in the shower, came out, and took a step without even realizing it. Like, I got out of the shower like I was used to. And then I took a step, it was kind of, like when you're walking, you don't even realize that you're taking steps. That's how it felt. And then I got out, and then I told my mom. Then I walked into her office or whatever in the house. Yeah. A few days later, I started running.
She walked from her bedroom to the office without her brace. I never expected her to do what she did.
I don't want to touch those crutches again.
And then she got on her bike, and there was a time, and my husband and I were out. We were actually working out in the garage, and she started riding her bike, and we stopped everything we were doing. We completely got lost, because there was a time when we didn't think she was ever going to get to be on a bike.
it's been nothing short of amazing. Not just because of everything that they've been able to do for Bella so far, but seeing now that how can I say it? Like Sarah's, I guess, her never-ending quest for Bella not to be in pain anymore, and turning my doubt around, I guess, like, yes, thank you, and I'm glad you stuck with this person who persuaded you, like, hey, this is, I just, it's life altering, really.
As far as the Lord, I mean, He is everything to me as a person. Beyond like work and beyond everything, it's what drives me to do what I do. I know that He gave me a gift years ago, and so I'm to use that gift. But I'm also to find that gift that He gave that next person. So who's the next person? In my case, it was Bella. And her gift is like, she is funny, she's full of joy, she's intelligent, she's so smart. She has a gift to give back to these special needs kids. So she began to tell me her story, and I was like, Lord, we got to help her. You have to help me help her. You have to take over. So teach me, what am I supposed to do for her? And it was to get her life back. So, that's what I do above everything. It's like, what does He drive you to do every day? And that's what I want for other people. I want them to know what their purpose is in life. And her purpose is so much. She's got so much of her life ahead of her.